What up, what up, what up? Let me get on this thing, see how it looks. What up, what up, what up? That's a little, let me get on this thing. It's a little low. Let's see, like that. It's a little close, right? Maybe I should back up. That's a little, let me get on this thing. Oh, damn. A little low. With this thing's on. Let me see. All right, that looks pretty good. Let me see. So we need to move it more this way a little bit. Bow. Let's see how good that looks. Do 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 do. All right, that's not bad. Looking good. Looking good. Phoenix. I tried to bring him on, but Mom shut that down. She said, "Not this time. He needs beauty sleep. It's his bottle time, and close to sleeping time. So there's no Phoenix today. But maybe the Phoenix will rise again in the future." How's everybody doing? How you doing, Amina? How's your weekend been? My weekend. So I play on a basketball team on Sundays. We've had 2 games, but we're a fairly new team. Hey, good, Lynn. Stop, because I'm only about halfway done on chapter 4 too, so we're synced. But yeah. So my basketball team's been playing, and we're fairly new, and we've lost both games. So that's how my weekend went. So yeah, how's Lynn? How's your weekend been, or your week? This last past week, and my Cowboys have lost 2 weeks in a row. So it's been a lot of losing over here. But you know what? It builds character. It makes us strong, and it's made me realize. Well, I guess I already knew this about myself, but I think when I was younger, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't that confident, and maybe I masked my emotions with a false like acting of confidence. But I realize now that as I get older, as I feel like I'm not that confident on things, and I think for a man my age, I need to get with it. Let's see, Lynn, you said scattered, but the weather finally got nice. Good. You said scattered? Yeah, scattered. Like you. Oh, scattered busy. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know you've mentioned. You got a few things going on. I hope everything is better. It's getting good because I know you were going through some things. So I hope all that's situated, and I hope you get less busy, but have more time to do the things that you want to do. That would be good. Um, you guys, here I'll let you guys, scatter mind, typical me. Hey, you tried meditating? I like started meditating for a while, and it things because I'm very scattered mind. I'm very neurotic, and I sometimes tend to worry about the future. And so I started meditating, and since then, like the benefits have lasted. Even though I'm not as disciplined as I should be on meditating as I once was, um, the benefits are definitely there. Help me with my scattered mind too. Amina, anything fun? Y'all do anything cool? Anything groovy? I tried various breathing and guided relaxation things. That's good. No, just normal week. Good. Yoga. Yeah, yoga is good. It's good for the body because it's like if you're tense, you can stretch it out. And I've done some uh, guided meditation and breathing stuff, and that's cool too. But what I've found has worked the most, like the most improvement, is when I just close my eyes and try to force myself to not think about anything. And then you find yourself thinking about something, and then you just go back to thinking about nothing. And then you find yourself thinking about something and go back to think about nothing. That one's been good. And then sometimes just letting your mind wander is good too. I don't know if I ever saw any benefits on that one, but definitely from the other one, I found a lot of benefits. I feel like with the guided yoga, it's like you don't give a chance, like, because my what I grasp from meditation, from like the Buddhists, is like teaching your mind, like controlling your mind to not think, and therefore whenever you can do that a little bit better, then whenever you are thinking about things that you shouldn't think about, it's even easier to redirect those things. So, but I do need to get back to my discipline. I was like meditating like every day, but yeah. So that takes us to the topic of the hour, this book. Oh, and hold up, you said related to the reading, the best thing I ever did was getting out into nature with my camera. Yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, yeah, yeah. So that is getting to the book, and we were on, again. Dang, we're on the same page, Lynn, because I was transitioning to the book too. Yeah, that is true. And nature walks is really good. So it sounds like, yeah, that yeah. So now the book though, this one is a tough read. It's, I want to know your thoughts about it so far. I'm gonna let you know about my thoughts about it, but I don't know if I'm fully grasping what. I feel like I have an idea of what he's saying, but there's so many words and the way that it's not an easy read. That's mine. Out of all the books, I've enjoyed this one a little bit less because it's it's tough. It's tough to like. He writes kind of like the other author that who was it? I have the book right here. It was, it's right here somewhere. Let me see. Not those, not those. It's right here. Oh, this one. So I got this book and I try to read it, and it's like it's Friedrich Nietzsche, Beyond Good and Evil. And I felt like as I started to read it, it reads the same as this one. It's like the way that they write the sentence is like he'll reference something like, I don't know, he'll be like nature, comma, with and everything that it does, comma, like the blah 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 blah, comma, and like in one sentence, he's referencing so many things that by the time you get at the end of the sentence, you're just like, wait, we started with nature and you added some characteristics and you added some stuff. What were you even trying to say about it? you know? Um, Lynn, you said all seasons away from all the names and seasons and habits of flowers, butterflies, etc. Contemplated streams and rivers and rocks, was a geology major at a younger age. Let me see. Related to the reading, the best thing. All seasons away from people. Are you so you're saying that that's what you're sharing about yourself, right? It's not about the book. Um, that you've contemplated the streams and the rivers and the rocks, right? That's how I'm reading it. That let me know if and yeah. So whenever I was meditating, I started doing nature walks too, just like what you're saying. And I've done that too, where it's like you can start contemplating the, like I was just like looking at flowers and the bugs as I was walking by, and I was just like, you know, taking it in too. Amina, you said that it's like a textbook. It is like a textbook because it's like it's kind of like he's just writing about his own philosophy of things. But again, I feel like it's hard for me to grasp exactly what he's trying to say. Uh, Winter was the best, but it all relates to the book. I got you. I got you. So basic ideas that I feel like he's saying, and this on this I'm really interested into what you guys I have because I'm a little lost. What I've gotten from it so far is that he's talking about like nature, right? And I feel like he takes some time to talk about it as like um undisturbed nature, like in its purest form, and then like with us humans in it, and then almost how like we interpret nature or manipulate it or are sometimes corrupt it. Because I'm in the middle of the fourth chapter too when he's talking about language, and he's talking about how we add like he talks about symbols and how like language, like the words of things, you know. So I'm really interested. So Lynn, you said, would this be philosophy, metaphysics, some spiritual school of writing? I almost think so. Like, I feel like it's kind of like along the lines of, have y'all read like Think and Grow Rich or As a Man Thinketh, and those type of books? But I feel like it's not as definitely definitely like a form of philosophy. I'm not really too sure if I know what metaphysics means, but I feel like he's trying to like I think when he titled the book Nature, it's not so much like it is nature, like the place, the setting of nature, but it's also like our nature. I think I feel like he's also speaking of like our nature, you know. But I can't really say there's been parts of the books that have stood out to me because okay, so like when I first started reading the book, I was stopping and like really trying to think about what he was saying, but I was getting nowhere in the book. So I was like, you know what? Like, I watch a lot of videos where people that are smarter than me are talking, and I feel like I get the gist at the end. So then I just started reading it and using context clues for some of the words I would look up, and I I'm pretty sure it's all gonna come to because it's not that long of a book, right? So I feel like it's meant to be read. Here's the idea, here are the supporting facts, and at the end it's gonna come back together. And I think because we're in the middle, or I don't know, I'm interested to hear what you guys have in mind with all this because again, I'm lost. I'm trying to grab at ideas, and I'm not even sure if I read what I read. Okay, so Lynn, you say he's tying nature to spirituality, but ultimately God or a creator, which is in everything. I think yes, I feel like I did grasp some of that because he was. I think there was a part in the book where he's saying like kind of like that everything is connected, that everything has that or something like that, like the creator type thing. And then Amina, you said this is like his argument about nature's role in our lives. We have to remember this was written around the start of the industrial age, and people were concerned about all new technology. Good point. Good point. Because I'm at the part of the book, and Lynn, you may be around the same part where I just read where he was talking about how life in nature is more like he didn't use. I don't think he used the word peaceful, but like more of like you are less adulterated. I don't even know if that's the right word for it. Like because you're so close to nature versus life in the city is more like hectic and corrupted almost. I got that from commodities chapter. This was 1849. Yeah, yeah. Like my plan was for the book was to read it one time halfway, and then before we get on here, go back and reread it and see if I could capture it. Obviously, I didn't do that. I just got to the part, but I definitely am because he's talking about thoughts too. Like, and that was because he talks about like the part that's really like staying in my head was that he's saying that like how we use symbols as like for thoughts and I feel like I don't know I really do feel like he's trying to say like the world we live in like coming into our mind and then like what like how we talk about it because he was talking about beauty. What was the three things? It was like something, beauty, and language. I forgot what the first one was. And yeah, I mean, this is definitely a book that's making me think, and I think you're right. I think the time definitely has a lot to do with it, you know. And it's crazy because it's like, aren't we reading it at right around the same time, but with our own revolution? Because if he's thinking about the industrial revolution, right, and he's somewhere right in the middle of the beginning, us in our current age right now are like in the middle beginning of like this technology age. I think that like because I mean, so the internet was like it really made a bang in the 90s, right? Late 90s, early 2000s. And then all since then it's just been like boom, now we're here with artificial intelligence. And so maybe we're catching it at the same time of when he wrote it but just in different revolutions, you know? Um okay. So you said Amina said he said that man has harassed nature to achieve technological advances while people try to not give nature its due. And then Lynn, you said Amina, did the poem at the start of the introduction remind you of Jimin's face concept? The poem about rings spreading out? Yes, water ripples. And I know what you guys are talking about. That first one, that was a sick poem for sure. Let me see if I could read it for the peeps that are watching. Which actually, let me see how many people are in here. Oh, it's just the three of us. Okay, cool. So let me. I don't think we would mind. So this is another book that wasn't available in the library, so I had to get the. And I think that's also another thing. I'm not used to reading things on my phone, and so there it goes. It says a subtle chain of countless rings, the next unto the farthest brings. The eye reads omens where it goes, and speaks all languages the rose. And striving to be man, the worm mounts through all the spires of form. What does that even mean? So I feel like this is obviously very beautiful the way he wrote this. I acknowledge that, right? But I never read like this type of English. Like so English is my second language. Now I learned it very young. Obviously I was born here, but at home it was nothing but Spanish. Like I just spoke Spanish. And so, obviously from like one to like whenever I went to kindergarten, I only had to speak Spanish. And then once I started going to the kindergarten and first grade, that's when English came in. So I have been speaking English my whole life. But this type of stuff right here, I get lost in it. A subtle chain of countless rings. Okay, that's pretty easy. But then it says, the next unto the furthest brings. Okay, I think I understand that one. So the next ring is the same as the furthest rings because it'll eventually get there, right? That's what it's saying. The eye reads omens where it goes. So it's like we give definition to things as we roam life, right? And speaks all languages the rose. You see, I don't understand that part. speaks all languages, the rose. Um, Rosetta Stone. Just kidding. And then striving to be man the worm. So the worm striving to be the man mounts through all the spires of form. So just like the ripples, like you go through all shapes from worm to man, right? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think, because again, this type of English is really hard for me to comprehend. All right. So let me catch up to you. So Amina says, yes, we're dealing with similar issues now, the climate change and technology. Yeah. All right. Lumber versus a forest, pavement versus mountains and rock, etc. Oh, you're talking about the ripples, right? Like from the beginning to the end. And then Lynn says it's a difficult read for sure. It's old fashioned. It's old fashioned way of writing. And this is like the reason why I don't dislike this book is because like this is why I like to read. Like, uh, just like life, right? When we're young, we're real dumb, and I was real dumb, and I'm still dumb, but with reading, uh, like I feel like I've been able to comprehend things, and I feel like there is somebody who understands what the hell this guy's talking about, and I just want to be one of those people. But I'll never get there if I don't read these type of things and like get a little bit from it. So I do love that we're reading this book. I love that it's hard for me, and I just feel like at the end of it, I should be slightly better than I was going in. And so, Lynn, you said the rose transcends all languages. Oh, okay, okay. So let me see if I'm picking up what you're putting down. So it's kind of like uh, we all, no matter what your country you come from, when you show the visualization of the rose, we all know that it is that, even though we call it different names, right? Is that kind of like what you're getting at, Lynn? I think so. I think so. And I have a question for you guys, right? Because this is something that I heard of before that's really like made me think. But it's like out of all the animals, it seems like we're the ones who who have changed nature the most, because it's like we we don't fit in this world, in this nature. Like, does that make any sense? I read this guy, like their thought behind it was that like we were aliens, and so when we stayed on Earth, like it's so uncomfortable to live just out in nature that we had to create a different uh, environment to be able to live comfortably. And so they were using it as proof that we're not from this planet. And I'm not going that far. I'm just saying, like, we are the one species on this earth that tends to change the earth or nature around us to for us to live in more comfort, which is peculiar if you think about it, right? And so Lynn says, nature was definitely my most spiritual experience. All my life, memories are burned into my soul. And you live in nature, like I remember you saying you live in the country, right? So it's like, um, it's kind of like you're in nature a lot. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then Lynn, the rose stirs the same feeling in people, no matter the words they use to describe it. My 2 cents. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm feeling. Too intelligent for our own good. You're saying humans are too intelligent for our own good? Maybe our intelligence is the thing that it will eventually be our demise if you think about it. You know, and then like, what I've always thought about too is like, how like in the Egyptian hieroglyphs, you see all these people with like animal heads, right? And we think, oh, it's like, oh, these people, like, they're just drawing things and making things up. I'm like, what if we're like going in circles and we get so advanced that we can like walk around with like, we can get surgeries done and have different types of heads, and then like eventually that's going to be the future. We're going to depict that, and then all of a sudden we just go back to square one and we start all over. yes versus animals. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, like our intelligence versus animals. Yeah, and it's like it's crazy. Tigers have their claws and teeth and their strength. You know, gorillas have their strength. Bears have, again, like all these species have their advantages that make them like top dogs in their environments. But our brains are just so much more advanced. It's like a dog's smell, right? It's so advanced it can smell things from far away. That's like our intelligence. It's crazy. Then you said my mobility issues stopped my going out and getting around. Had a few bad falls with no one for miles around. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's gotta be something, you know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that you went through that, and that you're going through that because that's tough. That's tough. I hope that we can find a different way to get you out there, right? Um, nah, but yeah, yeah. I mean, especially with you saying that, like, nature was so close to you and stuff like that, and how much you really liked it. So I really hope you can enjoy, get to find a way to enjoy that stuff again. In language chapter, I liked how he said how our language is based on nature. Example: light, knowledge, darkness, ignorance. Yeah, 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 yeah. And then he mentioned how like how language is corrupted when we start adding like different things above it, like desires or something like that, right? Like, I'm definitely gonna have to reread this book. There's a lot of stuff that is going way over my head. And then Lynn, you said he described our feelings and descriptive words as being tied to natural things, and that transcends languages too. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I really don't have much to add because I feel like I'm just barely grasping the concept of this book. Yeah, what Amina said. Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess this is not one of those books where I can ask you guys, where do y'all think this story is going? It's not one of those books, but we'll see where it goes. I also wanted to put an idea before we wrap things up out there for you guys. What if, after we finish reading this book, we take a pause on the book club for like a week or two, whatever you guys decide? Because um, I mean, we've knocked out quite a bit of books. So let's count them down. It was The Outsider, My Annihilation, The Old Man in the Sea, um, Almond, and there's another one. I think we read like 5 books. So I think maybe we get a well-deserved break because we've been meeting up every week. So maybe we take a week to rest, not have to read anything. Just kind of, and then we pick back up in a week or in 2 weeks. What do you guys think? If you guys don't want a break, I'll continue going. And I'm not saying we're not going to get back to it because I love getting back to this. I've read so many books since we've done this, and this keeps me accountable to reading. So I'm not trying to do this anymore. But I think that you know, uh, getting a break from being like, I got to finish this chapter by this time, and just allowing us to breathe so that we can do it longer. Because I don't want to get us to a point where we like stress so much to where we can't, do that. I was looking at books and thinking, shit, this one is probably too sad. You said sounds good. Um, yeah, like I said, like a week or two, or like we do a week, and then I'll still go live though, so we can still get together and talk and do all that stuff. So that way we can still keep the routine of meeting. But yeah, like and then yeah, that it gives you a chance to think of a book. We can get back and think of a good book. But I was thinking that because it's like I don't want this to not be fun, and we've been doing it for shit, how many chapters are we in? It's been at least a couple months, right? And so I figured we take a break and then we, a week or two, regroup and then get back together. Yeah, I was looking for books for happy endings. You know what? Don't feel bad about picking a sad book. I tend to like those better than happy endings because it's like, I mean, a good happy ending every once in a while is always fun. Don't get me wrong, right? But I feel like it's not always real. Like life doesn't always have happy endings, And I love when books are kind of close to real life, but aren't, you know, nonfiction. Um, and yeah, so I mean, don't feel like we could be sad. I think sad brings us a lot of great conversations. Take a break. Amina has one picked. I think I do too. Good. Is that the one that you were talking about in the chat that we couldn't find anywhere? Is that the one, which allows me to figure and buy it because that's cool. Um, you could, I mean, we could announce it now if you want, and then we just start. I didn't realize my face was off screen when I looked down. um, but yeah. And then I'm gonna have to pick another book. I did pick up a book from the library, but I haven't been able to read it because we're reading this one. The one by Tableau. Okay. Um, I'll work on getting that one. I think you were mentioning though that it was like tough to get or something like that, but I'll find it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be a problem. Geez, dead Russian writers. Nearly everyone gonna die. Yep, yep. Hey, y'all wanna read some Tolstoy? Let me know. I do think though, because we've been picking pretty small books, I think we are gonna have to pick. Um, oh, you said Lynn's next, right? So Lynn, you pick the next book, and then Amina, right? I forgot the order. I just know I just know it's one of y'all, then one of y'all, and then me. So that's all. So if Lynn, you're the next one, let me know. But we do. You know what? That's probably gonna be it. So we can pick. Y'all pick y'all's books, but when I pick my book, y'all be ready. I could probably get one. There were 3 left on Amazon now. Tableaus. Okay. Yeah. I'll look into. I'm pretty sure I could find it. I mean, I'll get one specially made or something. But on my book, I think I'm gonna pick a thick one. All right. So I want y'all to be ready because I'm interested as a book club for us to get through our first big novel. I'm talking about 900 pager, maybe 1,000 pager. How about that? Um, Russian books take forever. And the only so I've read okay so and then also so I read Crime and Punishment, and I've read Anna Karenina. Some of them could get pretty boring too, but it's a good boring. It's like you just are on autopilot and you're just sitting there talking about how the woods look and how it's rained and it's muggy and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the main character's like walking in the corner or something. Um, but okay, yeah. We'll see. It might not be a Russian. Hey, you never know. I might pick a Harry Potter book. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think we should. I think we've gotten to the point in our relationship where we can knock out a long book. I think that'd be good. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call this one quits. I'm gonna try to reread the chapters and see if I can pick up a little bit better. But this one's been tough for me to really fully understand. I'm not gonna lie. So I apologize if I'm not as talkative of this one as I am the other ones, but it's been rough. All right, guys. Y'all have a great week, a safe weekend. I hope that you guys do something awesome, not too crazy, but cool. And I'm gonna see y'all later. Okay. Peace. Use a book summary guide. Don't. I was thinking about looking into that, but no spoilers. All right, guys. See y'all.